So, with a lot of schools going towards Google Meet to be able to host virtual classrooms for their students, there comes kind of a requirement to figure out how to set up Google Meet so that not only the teachers and the students can collaborate effectively, but also make it so that the system's not abused. So in this video, we're going to talk about a couple of the best practices and then actually dive into the tool itself, into the admin area of Google, to be able to figure out how to set up and apply these settings that we go over. Basically, we have two ways of thinking about it. Basically, we can have all of the students and all of the teachers be able to start video calls at any time, and that way you can have a lot of collaboration going on. Basically, you won't need the teacher to be able to be there to start a collaboration effort in a group. So you have two kids working on a science project. You don't want to have the teacher start up an entire classroom meeting just to be able to facilitate those two students, especially if we have a group of 30 in pairs working at the same time. That becomes a little bit overwhelming. On the other hand, we also want to make sure that we, for the safety of our students, are limiting and monitoring access to it so that the kids don't just go off on their own and with this newfound ability to video chat, just take it to an unfortunate place. So what I encourage you to look at in your school, and there is no right answer for this, your situation will dictate what is right for your situation. However, what I would look at is weigh the pros and cons. If you have a strong small group collaborative in a classroom, another consideration is streaming. If you're having large meetings of your entire faculty, staff, and student body, you want to be able to enable streaming for those particular admins that would want to be able to address the entire school as a whole. This is usually reserved for a head of school, a principal, or anyone of kind of a high level. Video streams are different than video calls because instead of being able to have kind of an intimate one-on-one or 1 to 30 classroom setting where everyone has the ability to be seen and heard, a stream has one individual person that's presenting to a mass audience. And because of that as well, it allows you to connect several more people. You can stream out to about 1,000 people without having any real issue using Google Meet. So with that, let's dive down into the software itself and figure out how we can apply these settings within Google to various organizational units within our admin structure. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is go to admin.google.com. Make sure you sign in with a Google user that has access to your administrator functions for your school. So from here, in order to adjust the Meet settings, all you have to do is go to Meet, and then there it is, Meet settings. Go ahead and click there. So from here, we have all of the settings for Meet and Google Hangouts. You'll see at the moment that the status is on for everyone, and then we can adjust all the individual settings for, at the moment, everybody. So if I want to turn the service on or off for anyone in the organization, I simply click on service status and I'll get my entire OU hierarchy for my school. So at the moment it's on for everyone, and as I can look at, say, the faculty, it is inheriting its settings from the top level organization, in this case, the school. So let's say that I went in here and I didn't need my substitutes to have access to this because they're not going to be doing anything. So all I would do is hit substitute, click off, and then override. It says that the changes may take up to 24 hours to propagate for all of the users within this OU. However, it tends to go a little bit faster than that, so I wouldn't really worry about it. And I can see this little blackish gray dot here that shows that the settings for this particular OU has been overridden. So that's all I have to do for this part. I can go back by clicking up here, settings for Hangout, Meet, and Google Hangouts. And then I'll go back to our main screen here. So this is where the majority of the settings are, inside the Meet settings. If I click on here, I can get all of the settings that are relevant to us for every single one of our OUs. At the moment, I want to worry about the students. So with the students, I want the 7th and 8th graders to be able to administrate their own calls. The reason why is because they're going to be having a lot of individual group exercises that we don't necessarily want the entire class to be there for. And I, as their teacher, don't want to have to set them up individually with meetings every single time. That gets pretty time intensive. So what I'm going to do is, for the lower school, I don't want them to be able to initiate a video chat. I just want them to be able to accept one. So I'll go into here and video calling to allow them to place a video call, and I will simply uncheck that. Override the change. Now no one inside the lower school container will be able to place a video call. And you can see that that will propagate down for all of the lower levels. It's inherited from lower school. The upper school will be the same thing, where I'm going to make it so that they cannot place video calls. However, because of my previous comment, I do want the 7th and 8th graders to be able to place their own video calls. So I'll go into the 7th graders and I'll override this to say that they can. And now you can see that the 7th graders have an overridden property that says that they can place video calls. And I'll do the same thing for my 8th grade. And that's really all you have to do. From there, you can allow for streaming, recording. Streaming is great for individual teachers that want to reach a massive amount of students. So if you have an all-school meeting, for instance, and you want your head of school, your principal, to be able to address all of the students and faculty and staff inside the school, then they should be able to stream that content out, because there's not a whole lot of interaction going back and forth. A video call, on the other hand, is more for a small, more intimate grouping of people that are conversing back and forth with each other. So at the moment, we're going to keep all of these settings off for everyone else. However, I may want to go into staff and say that the admins can have the ability to run a stream, just so that they could, if required to, address this entire school population with any updates that are happening locally or administratively. You can see that they are overridden. That's basically it. You can also do the same thing for groups. So I don't have any groups set up over here at the moment, but if you had a group specifically for 8th grade science, and you wanted them to be able to use a specific function like the ability to place their own video calls, you can assign these things by groups. And that's about it. It's pretty simple to set up. It's very straightforward. And again, the settings do take a little bit of time to propagate. However, it's usually not the 24 hours that it's saying. That being said, if you have any questions about more use cases, or if your situation is a little bit iffy up in the air and you'd like some advice on it, please leave a comment down in the comment section and I'll take a look at it as quickly as I can and respond to you. Also, if you liked this content, please give it a like, subscribe for more like this. We're going to be posting not only things to help individual teachers and admin, but also how to engage your students in this new virtual online classroom experience. So with that, thank you so much for joining. Share if you think this would be able to help someone else, and I appreciate you being there for your students and for your community. Keep safe. See you in the next video.